How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Well, my royal family, I'm going to share something with y'all that's very interesting. But I'm going to start here with my father, James Alfred Newman Jr. And anybody that has been following my channel know that I lost my father. I think it was 7 years ago. I've pushed it out of my head. And I really don't want to touch upon that because that's too emotional. But what I want to get into is relationships with fathers and their children. Now, we do know that the relationship between a father and daughter is totally different between a father and son. But one thing that I want to share with the royal family is that I have said often that the passion that you hear that comes out of me, partly of it is my father. I was his best student. I was his only child. And the other part naturally would be my mother. Now, my mother was vocal in a different type of way, but my mother taught me things by example. My father was very vocal with me and very action oriented. Now, sometimes when we do these videos, and it's all type of people out here do these videos, sometimes you will see us get extremely angry and explode. It may be on an issue that always continue to happen to the royal family. It may be something in our personal life and we'll get on here and purge, or we may even have an issue with some of our fellow YouTubers. It's just all type of things. I'm just using that for an example. And so you'll see a YouTuber and, you'll pretty much see them kind of even kill. And then out of the blue, one day you'll just see them go completely off. I'm saying some, not all. Can't speak in the absolutes on these things. And when I do my videos, I know I speak with passion and fire, and I speak core truth to the best of my ability, and I do stumble and fall. And I don't have any footage where you can get a real gist of both of my parents. I can only tell you my perception of my parents. And one thing is that sometimes when y'all see us act ill, sometimes you'll wonder how they parents was. I wonder what they taught them. What was their home like? What was their family like? You just sort of wonder sometimes. And one thing that my dad had taught me, it was two things that he told me, and it could have been more. Just before he passed, he told me to watch my anger. And he said it in such a way, in a calm way, that it was like in slow motion to me. And he said, don't make hasty decisions. So anytime that I get angry, anger y'all have never seen, because it's not healthy for me to get angry, I will remove myself from a situation. I put out these passionate videos, but I'm not in the business of arguing with my people. No, you will lose that argument. You win. Any of y'all win. If y'all think I'm going to get on here and beef with my people. Now, I may say something about our behavior or something like that, but I'm not going to have a back and forth. And it takes a great deal of strength not to do those things. It's hard. We have been so greatly hurt in this system, and we have been so greatly hurt by our own. When our own hurt us, we will literally draw blood. So it takes a certain amount of discipline. Am I perfect at it? No. But in my 51 years of living, I've gotten better at it. Because I have lost enough relatives and been through enough what you call unquote life. I am not going to waste my health on just going ballistic. Over time, it makes you look like a damn fool. And we all need to do a self-assessment of self. So I have no problem dealing with cold, hard facts. So when you see me act in a particular way or do something in a particular way, it may come from my parents or it may not. It can just be my own stuff, things that I have picked up along my life as a child. Now, one thing that I will not do, because I speak core truth, is say, well, the reason why I act like this is because blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. No, I choose to do it. I choose to get angry. Yeah, I choose to get angry because I can control that too. There's some things you can't control, but we'll talk about that later. And you can make yourself look like such a damn fool. You'll be like, wow, where'd that come from? And I know y'all wondering where I'm going with this. Well, I got a treat for y'all because I wanted to use my father for an example because he helped me on a lot of situations. And now, since my parents have passed on, some parts, not all, because I have a great deal of support. I really do. I have no reason to complain. You just wonder where certain things come from, how you're going to do this, how you're going to do that, because it was just so easy to rely on my parents for emotional support. Or some of us have had different circumstances, and I respect that. I truly do. I truly do. I'm a very understanding person, but I'm very, very human. But what I'm going to show y'all is going to be quite astounding. So we're going to have a lot to talk about. So let's switch over here. And let me open this up quickly. And we are going to listen to Dr. Umar Johnson's father. Now, I ain't going to say nothing. I ain't going to spoil it. And y'all will see why I started the video out the way that I did. All right, so here we go. This is popcorn video. Y'all can see based on the length, it's a popcorn video.
Good morning. My name is Jamal. I'm the father of Dr. Umar Johnson, the Prince of Pan-Africanism. Shout out to my son and my other 8 children. I don't get to see my son too often, but I took some time out and listened to his video recently that was extremely embarrassing. And I issued an apology that apologizes for his behavior, which I know he's not a child, he's a grown man, but he's my child, and I really felt bad that he had to express himself that way for whatever the reason may have been. I'm not good at this. I'm new to this, actually, and I decided to do this after listening to that rant and viewing some of his other videos. I'm not a member of the conscious community. I am a concerned parent. I am a black man, despite what some people may think, because maybe I don't do the things that they think I should do as a black man. But the main thing I wanted to speak on was, first of all, there will be no profanity in this. So if you're looking for that, you may be disappointed. Secondly, I wanted to voice my opinion on something, but know that this was not and will not be directly against my son in reference to what I have to say in my opinion about what some things he may have said. I am not as articulate as he is. I have an MBA, but I do not have a doctorate. I'm not as well traveled as he is. I have been around the world, but maybe not as often. And I may not be as, for lack of a better word, aggressive as he is in saying what he has to say. I've been there, done that, believe me. But I want to address the issue that he said about dating outside of your race. I personally do not agree with him. He has his reasons for feeling that way, and I guess historically and even anthropologically, he can substantiate how he feels. I, on the other hand, feel that people are entitled to be with whatever race they choose to be with. I don't think that takes away your blackness. I do not believe that you are a traitor if you choose to be with someone outside your race. I do not believe that black women are gold diggers any more than white women are gold diggers or Chinese women. I do believe that love comes and goes and color doesn't have a thing to do with it. If it did, then I'd like to know why we black people can't seem to love each other a lot more. But I just feel that when we trace things back down in our lineage, and I'm also, of course, in the lineage of the bloodline of Frederick Douglass, as he is, Frederick Douglass was married to a white woman. Many well-known abolitionists, civil rights leaders were married to white women. I'm not saying this is something you should do. I'm saying that it should not be taken as a stain on your blackness. Those of us who are my age and older, some people may consider us elders, we did a lot to get where we are. The 50s, when I was born, was not a good year for my parents. It was not a good decade for my parents, neither were the years prior to that. And after I was born, when I was cognizant of what was around me.
Discover card. I'm not a customer, but I'm calling about that credit scorecard. Give it. Sure, it's free forever.
Cognizant of what was around me, I knew racism firsthand. Struggled against it. Struggled against it as a child. Struggled against it as an adult. Struggled against it as a serviceman, as a veteran. I still struggle against it today. White supremacy surely does exist. The only thing I wonder is whether we are fighting it or fighting each other. I'm not prolific as my son is in getting my point across, so I'll get to the point. The point I'm trying to make is this. We have to get along with one another. I'm talking about black people. I'm talking about, I think I may be talking about Pan-African people. I don't know for sure because I'm not really abreast as to what Pan-Africanism truly means. I've sought out people to explain it to me. I've sought out people in the so-called conscious community. The definition seems to be quite varied and very rarely agreed upon. So I don't know what it means. I do know that we used to be black before we became African American, before we became Pan-African, as he calls it. Okay, I mean, Malcolm used the term, of course, but I don't know if it was used for the purpose of what's going on today. When I look at some of the ways that these young black people are getting things across, I'm not really sure. Maybe I'm just too old to understand, but I'm not understanding where y'all coming from. But I want to know. That's why I'm not making this video as a disparaging remark on my son or anyone else. I'm an older person that wants to understand where y'all coming from, because I really don't. The hostility, the venom, the clashes between one another that I see on the videos and tweets and stuff like this that I've become familiar with, I just don't see how it's progressing for black people. Maybe it is. I just don't see it. You know, I've dealt with a lot of racism in the military, believe me, extreme racism, religious and racial, religious intolerance and racism. And I just really want to understand, why is it that our youth have gotten to the point where they feel, number one, that the only way they can express themselves is through profanity. And number two, where they start name calling everybody who doesn't agree with them. In addition to that, I'd like to know who all these parents are of these kids. Because I've reached out to the so-called elders. I've reached out to other people to try to understand and to connect. And frankly, I was disappointed. Because I can't seem to get a grip on the hierarchy of this conscious community, if one exists. Back in the day, when you had the Panthers and other organizations, you knew where you could go and actually touch someone and talk to them and get to understand what it is they're into. I can't seem to do that with this conscious community. So maybe this is a call out to the conscious community, if you don't mind, in a respectful way, to let me know what it's all about. I mean, my son travels quite a bit. Can't get my hands on him, really. Would like to, but love him either way. If you see him, tell him his pop said what's up. But ultimately, I'm a retiree. I'm enjoying my life now, best I can. I earned it, believe me, as a black man. I'm not going to let my children tell me how to live my life. And any of you older people out there that's doing that, it's like my son or anybody else tell you how to live your life, you need to get a wake-up call, or else you're late. A lot of the people that I hear being spoken about, Naeem Akbar, Dr. Welsing, Chris Welsing, and all, we spoke about them back in the 70s. We studied a lot of the stuff that I hear y'all talking about today in the so-called conscious community. But I don't remember us being as profane and as divisive as it comes across to me today. I hope that my message to you comes across positively, and I hope in response to this, which I'm sure nobody will hardly look at it because I'm not as well known as my son is, rightly so. He's put the time and the work in, he deserves it. But I'm not in opposition to the conscious community or a lot of the stuff that your leaders are saying. I'm just very curious as to why it has gotten to the point where it almost seems like a crabs in a barrel type of thing. I've been to a couple of my son's lectures. I don't agree with a lot of what he says. I don't agree with a lot that a lot of the conscious community says. But despite what they may think, we are black. I'm black. I earned the right to be black. I'm going to die black. Whether he or anybody else likes it or not, whether I date white women or not, I am black. And I put the time in to be black. I'm not going to let anyone take that away from me. And I hope that nobody else will, that listens to these people that talk about who's black and who's not black. I give my son all the accolades that he deserves. He definitely is putting the time in. I pray that that last video rant that he did was his last video rant, because he definitely was raised better than that, and definitely comes from better stock than that. But all that be said, I hope that this little bit I've said makes sense. I'm sorry if it hasn't been profane, insulting, accusatory, or any of those other negative terms that I see being used and exhibited in the videos that I see put on by the so-called conscious community leaders. I'm just a retired guy, Marine Corps vet, a black man, father, grandfather, great-grandfather, and most of all, I'm a human being. So I'm not going to spend the rest of my life on this earth fighting people. That doesn't mean I'm not going to fight against things that I don't like. White supremacy is a thing, and we must fight against white supremacy. White people are people, and I don't know anybody, including my son, who is not in some way benefited from the actions of a white person.
My name is Rose. Smoking caused my lung cancer.
Benefited from the actions of a white person. He can correct me if I'm wrong, but I know his youth and I know this to be a fact. But like I said, nothing I've said is against him, because that's my son and I love him, as I do my other children. I guess what this is for is to say that I am not aware, or nor do I understand exactly what the goal is or the means by which it's being attained when you have to divide each other, curse each other, demean one another. I don't claim to be an advocate of peace and all that boom-wah-yah stuff, but I think that your message is coming across pretty negatively, at least to me and people I know my age. And I would like to know how I can help positively, how people my age can help positively to get it across in a better way. You know, the things we agree upon, of course. I don't like the name calling. I think it's preposterous for learned people to go around calling people names and insulting their heritage and their lineage and their friends and things that they have done. I just don't believe it. I did back in the day when I was younger, probably your age, but I learned over time wisdom. And wisdom allows us to see what we did before, not to be what we should be doing now. Again, my goal for this video was to voice my displeasure personally with my son's video, and also to say that I'm reaching out to understand his community better so that I can possibly, in any way I can, assist it if it's for the betterment of black people and all people as a whole. I used to be very, very racist, believe me, but time has helped me to learn things, and I would like to impart that knowledge to any young folk who would like to learn it and help y'all in your goal to obtain and maintain blackness and reduce white supremacy. Thank you.
All right, my royal family, let me stop this for a minute. I want to stop this for a minute and say something. That was the end of that. Excuse me. All right, first and foremost, what I do want to say is I do respect Dr. Umar Johnson's father, Mr. Johnson, and a lot of things that he was speaking on were core truth. We do need to the best of our ability, stop all the attacks, all the backbiting, all the competitive stuff, and all those things that we do. I totally agree with that, because I have always been a person that if you try to compete with me, you have won. I'm not competitive like that. It's a waste of my time. I don't get in those competitive type of modes. There are parts of me that are very naive to certain things, but that, me being competitive, I don't trip off of that. I'm more concerned about doing my part. We all have assignments here. All of us have assignments, and we don't always figure it out, and I'm trying to figure out my part and somebody else's, and I respect that, and I try my best to support that. And so I do agree with him on that part. Another thing that I am trying, I don't think I'll ever get 100% there, is not using a great deal of profanity. I want to get to a place where not every other word come out of my mouth is MF and all that kind of stuff. And I'm working on it. I did catch myself last few videos, I was quite heated and really up in my feelings about the injustice that we continue to deal with and the tyranny that comes down on us daily. And so I'm passionate. One of those videos, I didn't even know I was crying because I'm like, this is just ridiculous, the things that happen. And I know better in my 51 years of living. And so as I get older, I'm aware of those things that he is talking about. So I'm not here to have, I'm not here on that competitive stuff. I have to do what I'm assigned to do. And I pray that y'all will respect what I'm doing. Now, if you don't like it, I respect that too. Not everybody gonna like the things that I say. All right. So anyway, the other thing that I wanted to say that I did disagree with Mr. Johnson is when he was talking about the women thing. That is one of those things that have gotten us in big trouble on the woman's side and the man's side. I'm not going to be sitting up here doing that blaming back and forth. All this swirling and stuff ain't working for us. And a lot of us see it. And we have to give a lot of credit to the younger generation. They are catching me up to speed on that because I never partaked in that, but I never really talked about it and analyzed it the way the youth are analyzing it, or the younger adults. And they're right. We have to stick together, and we don't have no business procreating with these people. And what I could see here, he seems like a solid man. He seems like it, but we could see here that he's been in the Marines, and he's gotten older and comfortable and set in his ways. Maybe his money is flowing a lot properly. He probably didn't did what he had to do when he was on the plantation. Now we can see here where, because he didn't get into if he stayed married to Umar. Well, it seems like he didn't stay married to Umar Johnson's mother, or we don't know what that situation is because I haven't got into that. I don't know enough about his background about that, but let's just hypothetically speaking say that Umar Johnson's parents broke up when he was 12 or 13. Very critical age for a black male. And say, he would spend time with his father, and he would see that his father are dating white women, and Umar, being the intense person that he is, see something wrong with that and having issue with his father with that. Because I could imagine, based on what we were hearing in this interview, that they have had discussions about it. Because you know how Umar Johnson is. He's a very alpha male, and he's very set in his ways, and he's very firm on his position and everything. So I can see his father being a help, possibly to a point, but it seems like they don't have a close relationship based on his father's choices way before we even knew Umar Johnson. And then he's seeing his son on the electric circuit. I know I'm pronouncing that wrong. And he's out here doing a great deal of tours around the world, and you need to hear the passion that he speaks in. He's like, I don't agree with that. But he said there was a time in his life that, he was a part, I don't say he was a part of the conscious community, but he was into what the conscious community was into. So this is very interesting to listen to his father, about 15 minutes, and get an insight on Dr. Umar Johnson. Now, I would like the royal family to give their input too, and I know y'all going to do that as well. And I have to admit, some parts were very helpful, because when I needed to talk to my father, he would help me on these things. And I had brought up what I brought up before, that when I'm angry, I have to step away. I have enough discipline to deal with my anger. We cannot get out there like that, because we lose sight. Again, we lose sight of what we were assigned here for. my royal family, I have talked about us being chosen. And we all have duties and responsibilities. And I'm no greater than you, vice versa. I talk about us being wise people. I talk about us being superior people. I talk about us being brilliant people. I talk about us being kings and queens. Now, we don't demonstrate all those things. I already know that. But we have to start somewhere, and we must address each other in a respectable fashion. That is very important to me. Very important, because we have been hurt so much. But the last message that I want to leave y'all, my royal family, my intent is not to hurt my family. That's my core intent. But remember that I have feelings too. And we should never take advantage of people that genuinely care for you. Are we perfect at it? No, not at all. We all stumble and fall. I will be the first to raise my hand up about stumbling and falling. But I am not going to entertain drama. Now, I will point things out and I will put some heat on it, but I'm not going to get in a beef, because this stuff hurts me to my core. Every time I see some beefing like this, because I did a video about the Kings, about what Umar Johnson did, it hurt me. And if it's in my personal life, I feel the same intensity. So, I really thank Umar Johnson's father for, giving us some insight again. Do I totally agree? No, I can see where Umar Johnson had some of his issues. So it's just an insight, my royal family. So anyway, my royal family, I want to thank y'all as usual for the support. It is extremely hard to get back to everyone. I do the best that I can, what I can do with. I'm not ignoring the royal family. And another thing I want to tell the royal family, I'm going to start coming out with these videos a little more deeper. I'm going to start speaking cold hard facts. I'm going to take it to another level. Very intense, because we are superior enough to handle it. We don't need to listen to this system tell us who and what we is. We can identify ourselves even in our foolishness. That's what makes us wise. That's what makes us rise, and that's what makes us brilliant when we able to do those self-assessments of self, or reach out to our own and say, I can't hang, because we have been put in a situation where we're supposed to take it all, no matter what. And it affects our mental health, and it also affects our overall health. And I want as many of my royal family living long lives, because we all got duties and responsibilities. And I cannot stress to the royal family how much I need you. I need your feedback. This is a support thing. Yeah, this is technically speaking Kimberly Santana's channel, but it's a family channel. Now, do it have family content? Not all the time. No, that I do truly apologize to the royal family, where they can't really sit their kids and listen to all my videos, because I speak with a great deal of conviction and passion. I'm a freestyler. It truly is. So, I'm just kind of rambling on, and I thank y'all again. I truly do, to the depths of my soul. So, let's close out here. Look at my dad one more time, and I thank my dad. Truly thank my dad for giving me those last words before he went on to the next realm. I truly miss my father. Truly do. But I'm at peace as well with his passing. So anyway, my royal family, with that said, Ashe.